The 2025 Formula One season was meant to signal the dawn of a new McLaren era, a powerhouse team armed with two elite drivers, a race-winning car, and a genuine shot at ending Max Verstappen's dominance. But beneath the team's bright papaya colors and podium celebrations, a storm is brewing, one that threatens to tear the team apart from the inside. The tension between Oscar Piastri and McLaren's top management has reached a breaking point. What began as whispers about strategy calls and pit stop timing has now escalated into full-blown speculation that McLaren is favoring Lando Norris over Piastri. Fans, journalists, and even paddock insiders are asking the same uncomfortable question. Is McLaren deliberately sabotaging Oscar's title hopes to boost their British poster boy? Reports have surfaced about heated confrontations between Piastri's manager, Mark Webber, and McLaren CEO Zak Brown. According to sources within the paddock, communication inside the McLaren garage has completely fractured. Some even suggest that Webber is quietly drafting an exit plan for Piastri should things not improve. The tension reached new heights after the Singapore Grand Prix, a weekend that exposed cracks in McLaren's unity. Strategy blunders, miscommunication on the pit wall, and a lack of coordination cost Piastri valuable points. What followed was an explosive post-race meeting, where frustrations boiled over and accusations were reportedly exchanged behind closed doors. Since then, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive. Reports have emerged of shouting matches between Webber and team executives, with Webber making it clear that respect between a driver and his team must go both ways. The controversy only deepened when fans noticed a pattern. Pit stops for Piastri were often slower than those for Norris. Strategy calls seemed to favor the British driver, putting Piastri at a disadvantage time and time again. Even radio communications during races reflected a hierarchy, with Norris receiving clearer, more proactive guidance, while Piastri was left to fend for himself. For many, the optics have become impossible to ignore. When Norris wins, Zak Brown is seen cheering, laughing, and celebrating passionately in the garage. When Piastri wins, however, the atmosphere appears restrained, almost uncomfortable. The contrast has fueled the perception that McLaren is prioritizing Norris, leaving Piastri feeling like an outsider despite leading the championship standings. Oscar Piastri's rise in Formula One has been remarkable. From his impressive rookie season in 2023 to his current campaign as a championship contender, the 24-year-old Australian has displayed speed, intelligence, and composure well beyond his years. But his maturity and calm demeanor can only mask so much frustration. Sources close to the team claim that Piastri has grown increasingly disillusioned with McLaren's internal politics. He feels unsupported, and his confidence in the team's fairness is eroding fast. Mark Webber's involvement adds another layer to this story. Webber, who managed his own share of internal favoritism at Red Bull during his partnership with Sebastian Vettel, knows exactly what Piastri is going through. Insiders say Webber has confronted Zak Brown multiple times, warning that unless McLaren fixed their internal imbalance, Piastri could walk away. And the timing could not be more critical. With the 2026 Formula One regulation overhaul on the horizon, every team will get a fresh start. If Piastri were to leave McLaren, this would be the perfect moment. Rumors in the paddock already link him with several top teams, including Mercedes, Ferrari, and Aston Martin. Mercedes, in particular, are seen as a strong contender for Piastri's signature. Following Lewis Hamilton's departure and George Russell's tense contract negotiations, the Silver Arrows are looking for a reliable, long-term talent to partner with Kimi Antonelli, the Italian prodigy being groomed as F1's next superstar. A Piastri-Antonelli duo would be the perfect blend of experience and youthful brilliance, potentially restoring Mercedes' dominance. Ferrari, too, are watching closely. The Scuderia's internal struggles continue to frustrate Charles Leclerc, who, despite being under contract until 2029, has shown visible signs of discontent. If Ferrari were to lose Leclerc or seek a shakeup in their driver lineup, Piastri could be their ideal candidate, a disciplined, consistent, and technically sharp racer capable of bringing stability to the chaos. Aston Martin is another intriguing option. The team has been evolving faster than anyone expected, and the recent shock signing of Adrian Newey from Red Bull has transformed their technical prospects. With Newey leading the design philosophy, Aston Martin could become a genuine title contender in 2026. Adding Piastri to that equation could create a team capable of challenging both Red Bull and McLaren head-on. Even Bernie Ecclestone has weighed in, calling Oscar Piastri the best driver on the grid after Max Verstappen. A stunning compliment from the man who has seen every Formula One champion in the last 5 decades. Ecclestone praised Piastri's intelligence, humility, and ability to learn from mistakes, saying he gets the job done without excuses. To be placed in the same conversation as Verstappen at such a young age shows how highly Piastri is regarded by the sports insiders. Yet, despite all this recognition, McLaren's actions continue to suggest they see Piastri as the number 2 driver. Subtle but consistent errors, from questionable tire calls to race strategies that compromise his position, have gradually chipped away at his advantage. Piastri still leads the championship with 336 points, but his margin is shrinking fast as both Norris and Verstappen close in. Red Bull's latest upgrades have brought them back into contention, and every point matters in this tense title fight. The Singapore Grand Prix was the tipping point. Team communication broke down completely, leading to a disastrous race for Piastri. What should have been a podium finish turned into a strategic nightmare. After the race, insiders say Mark Webber confronted McLaren's senior engineers and accused them of bias in strategy execution. That confrontation reportedly left the garage in silence and sent shockwaves through the team. Since then, the story has exploded online. Social media platforms are filled with fan theories and leaked reports suggesting McLaren's internal structure is collapsing. Some media outlets have gone as far as to claim that McLaren's leadership is losing control of its own drivers. The stakes couldn't be higher. If McLaren failed to secure the championship this season, the fallout could be devastating, both for their credibility and for their future. Losing Piastri would be a massive setback, especially after years of rebuilding their reputation as a top-tier team. Watching him win races for Mercedes, Ferrari, or Aston Martin in the future would be a bitter pill to swallow for McLaren's management and fans alike. For now, Oscar Piastri remains composed and professional, at least on the surface. But those close to him know patience has limits. He's fighting on 2 fronts, against Verstappen and Norris on track, and against McLaren's politics behind the scenes. That kind of mental strain can only last so long before something snaps. The question now is simple. Will McLaren recognize Piastri's value before it's too late? Or will they repeat the mistakes of the past and lose another generational talent to internal conflict? Formula One history is filled with similar stories. Teammates turning rivals, politics destroying partnerships, and teams losing focus in the chase for loyalty over performance. McLaren's current situation feels dangerously close to that narrative. If things continue the way they are, 2025 might not end with McLaren lifting the championship trophy. Instead, it could end with Oscar Piastri walking out the door, a moment that would haunt the team for years to come. Because no matter how talented a driver is, no one wants to spend their prime years fighting their own team instead of their rivals. The clock is ticking for McLaren. The world is watching, and Oscar Piastri's future hangs in the balance.